What's going on, world? It's your boy Super Drew, and this is another episode of Let's Talk About It. So today we're gonna be talking about imagination. Now this is something that I can have countless videos on because it's so much that we talk about when it comes down to our imagination. What is it? What is it composed of? Where does it come from? How do we use it? There's so many different things that we can talk about when it comes down to the imagination. So you can definitely expect some later videos about imagination. This will not be the only one. But what I want to talk about today is the simple fact that majority of times we don't use our imagination. And if we are using our imagination, we are misusing it. And this misuse of our imagination is called worrying. And when we worry, that's pretty much a misuse of the imagination. We're creating all these intricate things in our minds that could happen, and none of them ever happen. Just think about your first kiss. Just because I'm pretty sure if you're watching this, you already had your first kiss or something like that. Or let's just think about your first kiss. For instance, I'm pretty sure if you're watching this, you've had your first kiss. So what's going on in your head? You're probably thinking like, wow, I see a lot of things happen in movies. I'm like, mine's probably gonna suck. Or whatever. But none of those things happen. You don't. If you have braces, your lips don't get tangled. The person doesn't feel them or anything like that. You just, it's real natural. So worrying is linked to fear. And fear is just false evidence appearing real. It appears real at the time because it's so vivid in our imagination that we say, nah, that's gonna happen, man, that's gonna happen. But it never happens. So what are you worried about? I'm pretty sure you're worried about paying bills. How you gonna press your boss? How you gonna press the person who's interviewing you? I'm pretty sure a lot of you are worrying how you gonna get through school. It's something that we all have thought about, but at the end of the day, none of those things that you're worrying yourself over is going to happen. It never happens. You always get through it. You always see the light of day. Because if you didn't see the light of day, then you'll be 6 feet under, and that's called death. So you made it 100% through every trial and tribulation that you've went through, and you're here. So your success rate is 100%. So what makes you think worrying about what you're going through right now is going to come to pass? If it came to pass, then you'll be 6 feet under. And you're not 6 feet under. You've never been 6 feet under. And it's not going to happen today. It's not going to happen in the future. Well, it'll happen in the future. Later. Much later. One thing for certain in life, you do not have to worry about, and that's death. Because when it wants you, it's going to come for you. That is one key thing about life. We are going to experience this thing called, quote unquote, death. And that's something that we could talk about for a different video. But for the simple fact that you're going to experience death where you're no longer going to be you. You're no longer going to be the person who's John, Sue, or Sally. There's going to be a day where you cease to be who you are. So you don't have to be frightful of this. I mean, it's just like falling asleep. You don't even know anymore. You're just asleep. But imagination is something that is truly powerful, and we use it, but we misuse it. So now let's talk about something that how we use our imagination in a good way, a way that is beneficial to us. If you look at this phone, this iPhone, any phone, it's pure touch. Everything you do on this phone is touch. You touch everything. In order to call somebody, you have to touch the screen. If you have to text, now we text by touching the screen. So let's go back to the time where you're in middle school and you're sitting under the table and you're texting your friend and looking down every time that your teacher doesn't look at you to see if what you're texting is the right message. Because over time, as you got better at texting, you didn't have to look at what you were doing. You would just pretty much know where letters were and press them. And that was back into the time of T9 and stuff like that. That all points to the fact that Touchscreen phones were once in somebody's imagination. We had never experienced touchscreen phones till they were brought out. I had somebody come into our classroom when we were in middle school and showed us a touchscreen phone. We would be looking in amazement like, yo, I'm sitting here with this, flip phone touching on these keypads, and there's this thing out here. Where are these things? Why are they not mainstream? Why is no one talking about them? Because it didn't exist yet. No one had created it yet. There's a quote by John Keats that says, nothing ever becomes real until it is experienced. So you going to college was never real until you actually experienced it for your own self. You getting that job that you always dreamed of was never real until it actually expressed itself to you, till you experienced it, till you start to live it. It all remained a dream or a thought in your mind, but you kept feeding it your emotions, your energy, and it pretty much manifested itself to you. Facts are the fruit bearing witness of the use or misuse of your imagination. Everything that you can experience with your senses was once in someone's imagination. What is now proved was once only imagined. So what are you going to imagine and turn into a fact? Hold that image into your mind and feed it your emotions, and watch your dreams become reality.